first speaker of this afternoon is one of Barry's dearest and oldest friends, Mr. Rob White. Barry and Rob attended undergraduate school together at Lebanon Valley College. They've remained steadfast friends ever since. So let's welcome to Glenelg, Mr. Rob White.
Thank you very much. Okay, it's better, I guess, I don't see anybody out there. Yeah, when I was contacted a few weeks ago to see if I could be here and maybe even speak, one thing rare happened. I was speechless. Yes, those of you who know Rob White and the microphone, we're best friends. So when they said, Rob, you only have 30 minutes, I said, what? She said, no, 3 minutes, Rob, not 30. So anyway, yes, Barry and I attended Lebanon Valley College together. He was my older brother, if you will, because we were, oh, by the way, you see I have notes, but this is just the program. I'm going to do what this last band did, and instead of reading the notes, I'm going to improvise. So anyway, Barry and I went to Lebanon Valley together, and he was someone I looked up to because he was an upperclassman, and I was coming in and trying to figure out what it is you figure out in college. And we were very fortunate to go to an institution that had a long history of music and music education, conservatory, classical music approach, and we were very well trained. Of course, we didn't realize it, right, Gene, until later on after we get out, get into the real world and go, oh yeah, we were really well prepared. Not only did we have wonderful professors, and I'm going to take a quick second to say, the professors we had during our era didn't all have doctorates, but they had real life experiences, they had life skills, they had wonderful things to share and give, and nothing against those that have earned doctorates, God bless you. But I just feel that we had the benefit of, if we had to have a doctorate for a professor, some of our best professors wouldn't have been in places they were. So I just wanted to take that moment to say we were very blessed to have who we had. We were also brothers in the National Music Fraternity Phi Mu Alpha Symphonia, Iota Kappa chapter, Hail Symphonia, once a Symphonian, always a Symphonian. It's not the same as live long and prosper, but it does get a little bit of cachet to those who know. So one of the things that we learned, and of course, Barry and I have crossed paths many years over the years, and again, I don't have all kinds of time to talk about all those great things, but back in the Lebanon Valley days, there was, during our formal training, we had a wonderful college professor by the name of Dr. James M. Thurmond, and he had been in the Navy, had been in the Philly Orchestra, he had taught public school, and he taught us about life and music. I'm going to teach you, in case you didn't know, because of Dr. Thurman's work in the Navy, every concert that we played started with the national anthem, and it was a specific arrangement. And those of you who are familiar with the national anthem, raise your hands. Of course, I can't see you, but that's everybody. So the national anthem starts off with a dotted 8th, 16th pattern pickup, or anacrusis for those of you music ed people, music people, and it goes into a quarter note. And most people go da da da, right? Oh, say, and that little note gets skipped over. And the thing we were taught that carried us and carried Mr. Enzman throughout his career was that was the beginning of our music education. He said, Dr. Thurman would say, no, it's ta-da. And we were kind of figuring out what that was. That's the short note that got the accent right before the longer note. So it's da, 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 da. Raise your hand or clap or something, Glenelg alumni that have ever heard, you have to go da, ta, ta at the national anthem. Absolutely. That was the beginning of our foray into making notes and rests into music. kind of want to skip ahead. Well, no, I don't. I want to take a step back and then I'll skip ahead. Because Lebanon Valley was a classical conservatory background, we didn't have what would be formerly called today in most colleges, universities, as jazz studies or something along that line. The jazz experience that we had in college was through the Lebanon Valley College Jazz Band or Jazz Ensemble, and it was student run. The students did everything. And Mr. E was the director your senior year? Yes, he was the director, music director. They had auditions, they had weekly rehearsals, wonderful concerts. They were playing top charts. They weren't playing, 12-bar blues and that's it. They were playing the real stuff. They had a spring tour. And for those of you who know how it is to plan a vacation, this is kind of like that, but not. And they had recordings made, the whole 9 yards. So in addition to the formal training Mr. Enzman received, he brought with him the years of working in a student-run organization that produced quality music in the jazz genre, and you can understand why Barry's into the jazz thing as well as the symphonic and marching thing, because that's his background. So anyway, that's our shared history, and everybody that walks out of here better know it's ta-ta, right? The last thing, I'm going to fast forward a number of years. To a couple years ago, for those of you who don't know, real quick history, when I first was hired here by Gene Miller back in '78, my first 3 schools were Lisbon, West Friendship, and Swansfield, and then 6 years later I got Bushy Park, so I had 3 elementary schools in this district. And so most every student I had the pleasure of starting and teaching came here to the wonderful Mr. E at Glenelg. And then I fast forward even further, I ended up somehow being fortunate enough to be the instructional facilitator of music here in Howard County for 12 years. That's, for those of you who aren't familiar with that lingo, is supervisor of music. So anyway, I just retired this past July. I couldn't make it 41, sorry Barry. In any event, a couple years ago in my capacity as instructional facilitator, I had the pleasure of working with the director of athletics at that time. I think it was Mike Williams. And he was a former teacher here at Glenelg and athletic director, I believe. And the issue had to do with students that were in both music and athletics, and after-school rehearsals and concerts, performances, da-da-da-da-da, trying to figure all that out. And the first meeting, Mike said, I don't know why we're here. When I was at Glenelg, Barry and I worked everything out. I don't know why there's a problem in these other schools. And what does that speak to? That speaks not only to the music and the education part, but also speaks to just human respect, human skills, the ability to cooperate, get along with other people, the things that we also learn in being in music, not just the notes and rests. So, needless to say, we put a team together, we quickly got some paperwork together and put it together, and the expectations are now countywide that thanks to the experience of Mike Williams having positive experiences here at Glenelg, easily to work through all of that, so now students can be successful in both after-school music and athletic things, and so we're very fortunate to have Barry as an example to all of us, not only in music and music education, but also in just being a real good guy. So, thanks so much for having me, and thanks Barry for being a man.
Glenelg is especially blessed to have the long-standing support of our next speaker. She was a superb principal and a steadfast supporter of the arts. And she was pivotal in the creation of the Glenelg Performing Arts Wings that we're sitting in right now. So please welcome Deputy Superintendent of Howard County Public Schools, Ms. Linda Weiss.
afternoon, everyone. I am really pleased to be here today to celebrate my good friend and colleague, Barry Enzman. We all know Barry is a legend. There aren't many people who get a full spread in the sun when they retire, but Barry did, and it was well-deserved. And such an extraordinary musician. But you just don't produce consistently amazing results year after year without also being an extraordinary teacher. And that's what I want to talk about. Because I believe that Barry has been blessed, truly blessed in his life. For he has lived the adage, success is doing what you love and loving what you do. Do you agree? Barry. So I had the pleasure of working with Barry from 1994 to 2004. And it was then that I really got to know Barry. I thought I would share with you today what I believe to be just some of the few key ingredients to Barry's continued success and to that of his students. Barry goes well beyond engaging his students. He treats them like adults, with dignity and with respect. I admire him immensely for that. He expects you to give your best, work toward exceeding your best, and then work on consistently performing your best. Work hard and then work even harder. Practice, practice, practice. We are a band, we work together. Don't let yourself down or the band. Do you think that's true? And from my time at Glenelg, here's what I remember. Wonderful concerts, adjudications, standing ovations, students beaming with pride, with a sense of accomplishment, a true purpose in life, faces saying, I'll always remember this moment. You could just tell it. Parents and community welcomed, supporting, celebrating, and working behind the scenes. And Barry, part of an extraordinary collaborative team, vocal music, drama, orchestra, all gifted teachers working with students, supporting one another, and actually enjoying each other's company. How many artists do that? Barry, you have touched so many lives, and you've had a tremendous influence on the Glenelg community and way beyond. I wish you and Jody and your whole family the best of happiness in the years ahead. But I know that you were just really planning your next gig. Take care.